Chapter 1. The Poisoned Princess. The medicine is burning a hole through my stomach, and if I stop taking it, everyone in this room will die. I lean against the cold stone wall of the hallway, clutching my gut. The wolfsbane is a thick black sludge that tastes like copper and death. I've been swallowing it every morning for 10 years. It keeps my scent quiet. It keeps my wolf, Nyx, locked in a cage made of iron and pain. If the Silver Fang cult smells even a hint of what I really am, they'll hunt me down. They'll carve the heart right out of my chest. Lyra? Are you hiding again? I stiffen. I know that voice. It's Kaden, the future alpha, my fated mate. I wipe the sweat from my forehead and step into the light of the Equinox Ball. The room is a blur of silk dresses and expensive cologne. It smells like cedar and pine. The scent of normal wolves. I smell like nothing. I am the unmarked girl. The one nobody wants. Kaden stands on the raised platform, looking like a god in his black suit. He's handsome, sure, but his eyes are hard. They've always been hard when he looks at me. I'm here, Kaden, I whisper. My throat feels like I swallowed broken glass. I walk toward him, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. Today is the day. The equinox. The day he's supposed to claim me in front of everyone. Once he marks me, I'll be safe. His power will hide mine. I won't have to drink the poison anymore. I reach the edge of the stage. The music stops. Hundreds of eyes are on me. I see the beta's daughter, Tanya, smirking from the front row. She thinks she's better than me because her wolf shifted early. Kaden looks down at me. He doesn't reach out his hand. He doesn't smile. Lyra, he says. His voice is loud. Too loud. It echoes off the high ceilings. Today is about the future of the Blackwood Pack. It's about strength. It's about legacy. My stomach twists. Not from the medicine this time. From fear. A king deserves a jewel to sit beside him on his throne, Kaden says, his lip curling into a sneer. He needs a woman who can lead. A woman who actually has a wolf. He steps closer, leaning down so only I can see the pure disgust in his eyes. I, Kaden of the Blackwood Pack, reject you, Lyra the Unmarked, as my mate, he growls. For a king deserves a jewel, not a pebble. The room goes dead silent. Then the whispers start. They hit me like physical blows. A pebble. That's all I am to him. Something he stepped on. Something he wants to kick away. The rejection hits my soul like a lightning bolt. It's a literal rip in my chest. The bond, the tiny golden thread that connected us, snaps. And that's when the real nightmare starts. Without the bond to hold me together, the wolfsbane isn't enough anymore. I feel a spark in the base of my spine. Then a flame. Then an inferno. The air around me starts to shimmer. It's getting hot. Too hot. Kaden, please, I gasp. I reach out to touch his arm, but he flinches away like I'm covered in filth. Get her out of here, Kaden orders the guards. She's making a scene. Throw the pebble out into the dirt where she belongs. The guards move toward me, but they stop. They stop because the floorboards beneath my feet are starting to smoke. I'm not a pebble, I'm a sun, and I'm about to explode. Chapter 2. The Breaking Point. I am standing in the middle of the ballroom, and I am literally on fire. It's not a normal heat. It's a golden, blinding light that pours out of my skin like molten lava. The guards scream and jump back. They can't get within 5 feet of me. The wolfsbane dam has broken. 10 years of suppressed power is screaming to get out. My wolf, Nyx, isn't just a wolf. She's a beast made of solar flares and ancient rage. What is this? Kaden shouts. He's backing away now. His face is pale. What are you doing, you freak? I can't answer him. I can't even breathe. Every inch of my body feels like it's being stretched and burned. Lyra, let me out. Nyx's voice is a roar in my head. Let them see. Let them burn. I fall to my knees. The marble floor cracks under the heat. I see my reflection in a shard of glass. My eyes aren't brown anymore. They are glowing, liquid gold. "She's a monster!" Tanya screams from the crowd. "She's been hiding it! She's one of them! She's a Solaris!" The word Solaris ripples through the room like a death sentence. The Silver Fang cult has been looking for me for a lifetime, and I just handed myself to them on a silver platter. Suddenly, the heavy oak doors at the back of the hall fly open. They don't just open, they are ripped off their hinges by a force so cold it turns the air to mist. Every wolf in the room hits the floor. They don't just kneel, they collapse. It's the weight of an alpha. No, it's something much bigger. The High King. Valerius walks into the room. He's dressed in all black, and his presence is like a physical weight on my shoulders. Everywhere he steps, frost creeps across the floor. He is the Void Wolf, the King of Shadows. He walks past the trembling guards. He walks past Kaden, who is shaking so hard his teeth are chattering. Valerius stops right in front of me. The heat from my body clashes with the cold from his. It creates a thick, white fog that hides us from the rest of the room. He's tall, terrifyingly tall. His eyes are like chips of ice, dark, deep, and endless. "So," he says. His voice is a low, vibrating rumble that I feel in my very marrow. "This is where the sun has been hiding." I look up at him, my vision blurring. "Kill me," I whisper, "before I burn the world down." Valerius reaches out. I flinch. Nobody touches a Solaris when they are shifting. It will turn their skin to ash. But he doesn't care. He wraps his large, frost-covered hand around my throat. It doesn't burn. It feels perfect. The ice in his veins meets the fire in mine. For the first time in my life, the pain stops. The screaming in my head goes quiet. Valerius looks over his shoulder at Kaden. Kaden is still on the stage, looking like a wet dog. "You called her a pebble?" Valerius asks. The temperature in the room drops another 10 degrees. Kaden swallows hard. "Your Majesty, she lied to us. She's dangerous." "She is a goddess," Valerius growls. The sound is primal. It's a wolf's warning. "And you just threw away the only thing that could have saved your pathetic life." He looks back at me. His grip on my neck softens, his thumb brushing over my pulse point. "You're coming with me, little son," he whispers. But I see the shadow in the corner of his eye, a calculated, cold look. He didn't save me because he loves me. He saved me because he needs me for something much darker. Chapter 3. The Shadow King's Claim. The king isn't just a man. He's a shadow that's about to swallow me whole. Valerius doesn't ask me to follow him. He picks me up like I weigh nothing. My golden light is still pulsing, but his dark aura is wrapping around it, dampening the fire until it's just a dull glow. "Wait!" Kaden yells. He's trying to find his courage, but he stays on the stage. "She belongs to the Blackwood Pack. You can't just take her." Valerius stops. He doesn't even turn around. "She belongs to no one," the king says. "But as of this moment, she is the future queen of the High Citadel. If any man from this pack touches her, I will freeze your lands until not even a blade of grass can survive." He walks out of the ball, leaving the silence and the smell of burnt marble behind. The air outside is freezing. It's night, and the equinox moon is high and white. Valerius carries me to a massive black carriage pulled by 4 wolves the size of horses. He tosses me inside onto the velvet seats. He follows, his massive frame taking up almost all the space. The carriage jerks forward. We're moving. Fast. "Why?" I ask. My voice is coming back, but I'm still shaking. Why would the High King care about an unmarked Omega? Valerius leans back into the shadows. I can only see the glint of his eyes. "You're not an Omega, Lyra, and you're definitely not unmarked." He reaches across the seat and grabs my hand. He turns it over. On my palm, a faint glowing symbol is forming. It looks like a sun eclipsed by a moon. "The Solaris line," he says. The healers, the burners, the only ones who can survive the void. He pulls off his leather glove. I gasp. His hand is black, not dirty, black like charcoal. The skin is cracked, and I can see blue, frozen light pulsing in his veins. I am freezing to death, Lyra, he whispers. His voice is raw now. Every day the void eats more of my soul. I've been searching for you for 100 years. I pull my hand back. So this is a trade? You save me from the cult, and I keep you from turning into an icicle? Valerius leans forward. The smell of him hits me, cold rain and expensive wood smoke. It's intoxicating. It makes my wolf, Nyx, purr in a way she never did for Kaden. It's not a trade, he says, his face inches from mine. It's a marriage. We will tell the world we are fated. We will play the part of the happy couple. And if I say no? Valerius smiles. It's a sharp, dangerous thing. Then you can go back to your alpha Kaden. I'm sure the Silver Fang cult is already at his front door, asking for your head. I look out the window. The Blackwood forest is disappearing. I am leaving the only home I've ever known for a palace made of ice and secrets. I look back at the king. He's a monster. A beautiful, freezing monster. Fine, I say. I'll be your queen, but don't expect me to love you. Valerius reaches out and tucks a strand of hair behind my ear. His fingers are ice cold, but they send a jolt of pure electricity through my body. Love is a weakness, little son, he whispers. I just need your heat. As the carriage climbs toward the high citadel, I realize something. Valerius knows who I am. He knows my secret. But he hasn't told me his yet. And as the sun begins to rise over the mountains, I see a spot of black on the horizon. The Silver Fang cult isn't staying behind. They are following us, and they aren't the only ones. Kaden's rejection wasn't the end of my life. It was the start of a war. I look at my glowing palm, and then at the king's frozen hand. I should have thanked the man who broke my heart. He didn't realize he was simply clearing the path for a god. But as the carriage wheels rumble, one question keeps burning in my mind. If Valerius has been looking for me for 100 years, why did he wait until the very second I was rejected to show his face? Chapter 4. The Frozen Throne. The High Citadel isn't a palace. It's a graveyard made of ice and secrets. As the carriage rolls through the massive gates, the air doesn't just get cold, it gets heavy. It feels like the atmosphere is trying to crush the breath right out of my lungs. I look out the window and gasp. The trees here aren't green. They are crystalline. Every leaf is coated in a thick layer of frost that never melts. The servants standing in the courtyard don't look like the happy wolves from the stories. They look like statues. Their skin is pale, their eyes are sunken, and they move with a slow, mechanical stiffness. What happened to them? I whisper, my breath blooming in a thick cloud of white. Valerius doesn't look out the window. He stays tucked in the shadows of the carriage, his eyes fixed on me. The void doesn't just eat me, Lyra. It eats everything I touch. My kingdom is starving for warmth. The carriage stops. The door is ripped open by a man who looks like he's made of granite. He doesn't look at me. He doesn't even blink. Valerius steps out first. The moment his boots hit the ground, a ripple of shadow spreads across the cobblestones. He reaches back and holds out his hand for me. I hesitate. My wolf, Nyx, is pacing in the back of my mind. She's terrified of the cold, but she's drawn to the man. It's like a moth being pulled toward a frozen flame. I take his hand. The contrast is so sharp I almost scream. I am a furnace of Solaris energy, and he is an endless pit of winter. The second our skin touches, a shockwave of gold and black light explodes between us. "Welcome home, my queen," Valerius says. His voice carries across the courtyard, loud enough for every shivering servant to hear. I look around. "I'm not your queen yet." "You will be by sunset," he growls. He leans in close, his nose brushing against mine. The Silver Fang cult is already at the gates. They can smell your fire from miles away. The only way to keep them out is to tie your soul to this citadel. And to me. He leads me up the massive stone steps. We enter a hall so large the ceiling is lost in the darkness. But it's not empty. A woman stands at the end of the hall. She's tall, wearing a dress of silver scales that look like snakeskin. Her eyes are sharp, and they are filled with a pure, unadulterated hate. "So," she says, her voice echoing like a whip crack, "this is the little stray you brought home to save us?" Valerius's grip on my hand tightens. "Lucia, not now." "Oh, I think now is the perfect time," she says, walking toward me. She smells like dead lilies and old blood. "She looks weak, brother. She looks like a girl who couldn't handle a spark, let alone a son." She stops right in front of me, looking me up and down like I'm a piece of meat. "Tell me, little pebble," she sneers, using Kaden's word like a weapon. "Do you even know how to shift? Or are you just a pretty heater for my brother to use until you burn out?" My temper flares. My golden light pulses, heating the air so fast that the frost on Lucia's dress begins to melt. "I am the last of the Solaris," I say, my voice steady despite the trembling in my knees. "And I've survived 10 years of poison. I think I can handle a little bit of ice." Lucia laughs, but it's a cold, hollow sound. She leans in, whispering so only I can hear. "The poison wasn't just to hide you, Lyra. It was to keep you alive. Without it, the King's Void will drink you dry until there's nothing left but ash." She turns and walks away, but her words linger in the air like a curse. Valerius looks down at me. For a split second, I see something in his eyes. Is it guilt? Or is it just hunger? "Ignore her," he says. "We have a ceremony to prepare for." But as he leads me deeper into the heart of the citadel, I realize I've traded one cage for another. And in this cage, the bars aren't made of iron. They are made of a king's desperate need. Chapter 5. The Blood Oath. I am wearing a dress made of literal starlight, and I've never felt more like a prisoner in my life. The ceremony is taking place in the High Chapel. It's a room carved out of the mountain itself. The walls are lined with black candles that burn with a blue flame. It doesn't feel like a wedding, it feels like a sacrifice. I stand at the altar, my hands shaking. Valerius stands opposite me. He's wearing his royal robes, but they can't hide the way his void is acting up. The shadows around his feet are moving like living snakes licking at the hem of my dress. "The blood oath is ancient," the high priest says. He's a man so old his skin looks like parchment. "It doesn't just bind your lives, it binds your wolves. If one dies, the other follows." Valerius looks at me. "Are you ready, Lyra?" "Do I have a choice?" I whisper. "There is always a choice," he says, his voice dropping to a low, intimate rumble. "You could run. You could try to fight the cult on your own. But you wouldn't last an hour." He's right. I hate that he's right. The priest hands Valerius a ceremonial dagger. The blade is made of obsidian. It looks like a piece of the night sky. Valerius takes my hand. He's gentle, but his grip is firm. He slices a thin line across his palm. The blood that spills out isn't red. It's a dark, shimmering purple, filled with flecks of ice. Then, he brings the blade to my hand. The metal is freezing. It stings as it cuts through my skin. My blood is a bright, glowing gold. It looks like liquid sunshine. "Hold her hand," the priest commands. Valerius presses his palm against mine. A scream tears out of my throat. It's not pain. It's an explosion. The moment our blood mingles, the world disappears. I am no longer in the chapel. I am in a vast, empty space. In front of me stands a wolf. She is massive. Her fur is pure white, but her eyes are two golden suns. Nyx, I realize. But she isn't alone. Emerging from the darkness is another wolf. He is twice her size. His fur is a deep, endless black that seems to swallow the light. His eyes are icy blue. The two wolves don't fight. They circle each other. Then, the black wolf lets out a low, mournful howl. He walks up to Nyx and bows his head. Nyx reaches out and nuzzles his neck. Suddenly, I am slammed back into my body. I collapse against Valerius's chest, gasping for air. The room is silent. The priest is staring at us with wide, terrified eyes. "The resonance," he whispers. "I've never seen anything like it." I look down at our hands. Our palms are still pressed together, but the blood is gone. In its place is a mark, a perfect circle, half gold, half black. We are bound. Valerius pulls me closer, his arm wrapping around my waist. He feels warmer now. Not hot, but the dead cold is gone. "It's done," he says. But then, the doors of the chapel are blown open. A man stands in the dust. He's wearing the white robes of the Silver Fang cult, and in his hand he's holding a long silver chain. "The Solaris is found!" he screams. And behind him, stepping out of the shadows, is a face I never thought I'd see again. Kaden. He looks different. His eyes are bloodshot, and he has a crazed, desperate smile on his face. "I told them where to find you, Lyra," he sneers. "If I can't have my pebble, then nobody gets the sun." Chapter 6, The Traitor's Price. Kaden didn't just bring the cult, he brought a god-killing weapon. The silver chain in the cultist's hand is glowing with a sickly green light. It's sun-binding silver. It's the one thing that can strip a Solaris of her power. "Back away, Kaden," I scream. My voice is raw. Valerius steps in front of me, his shadows rising up like a tidal wave. "You dare bring that filth into my citadel?" Kaden laughs. It's a broken, high-pitched sound. "You think you're so high and mighty, King? You're just a dying man clinging to a girl who hates you." He looks at me, his eyes narrowing. "You chose him over your own pack, Lyra. You chose a monster over your mate." "You rejected me!" I yell. The heat in my chest is building again, but it feels different now. It feels tied to the mark on my hand. "A mistake I'm here to fix," Kaden says. He signals the cultists. 10 of them rush forward. They aren't shifting. They are using magic. Dark, twisted magic that smells like sulfur. Valerius doesn't hesitate. He shifts. The Void Wolf is terrifying. He is a mountain of black fur and claws. He lets out a roar that shakes the very foundations of the mountain. He lunges at the cultists, his shadows tearing through their ranks like a hot knife through butter. He's a blur of violence. A cultist's head is crushed in a single bite. Another is tossed against the wall so hard the stone shatters. But Kaden is smart. He stayed back. "Now!" Kaden shouts. The lead cultist throws the silver chain. It moves like a snake through the air, bypassing Valerius and heading straight for me. The chain wraps around my throat. It feels like someone just poured acid down my neck. The golden light in my skin flickers and dies. My wolf, Nyx, lets out a whimper and retreats into the deepest corner of my mind. I fall to the floor, clutching at the silver. It's burning me. It's eating my fire. Valerius turns, his blue eyes wide with panic. He stops his attack, his focus entirely on me. "Lyra!" He lunges toward me, but Kaden is ready. He pulls a small glass vial from his pocket and throws it at the king's feet. It explodes into a cloud of white dust. "Wolfsbane!" Kaden screams. "The pure stuff?" Valerius stumbles. The Void Wolf is strong, but even he can't fight the poison in such high doses. He falls to his front legs, his shadows flickering out. Kaden walks toward me, stepping over the bodies of his own men. He reaches down and grabs the end of the silver chain. "Come on, Lyra," he says, his voice disturbingly soft. "We're going home. And this time, you're going to be exactly what I tell you to be." I look at Valerius. He's struggling to stand, his icy eyes locked on mine. He's trying to reach me. He's fighting the poison with every ounce of his soul. But I can see the truth. He's failing. And then, I feel it. Through the mark on our hands. A tiny, cold spark. Valerius isn't just trying to save me. He's trying to feed me. He's sending me his void, Use it, Lyra. His voice whispers in my mind. It's faint, but it's there. The silver can bind the sun, but it cannot bind the dark. I stop fighting the chain. I close my eyes and reach for the cold. My golden light doesn't come back. Instead, my skin turns a pale, ghostly blue. The silver chain starts to frost over. What? Kaden gasps, his eyes widening. What are you doing? I look up at him. My eyes aren't gold anymore. They are the same icy blue as the king's. I'm not a pebble, Kaden, I say, my voice echoing with a power that isn't mine. I grab the silver chain with my bare hands. The ice on my skin protects me from the burn. With a single sharp tug, I rip the chain out of Kaden's hands. The metal shatters like glass. I stand up. The air around me is a whirlwind of snow and shadow. Kaden backs away, his face twisted in terror. You're a monster. No, I say, stepping toward him. I'm a queen. I raise my hand, and a shard of frozen shadow forms in the air. But before I can strike, a voice booms through the chapel. Enough! Lucia, Valerius' sister, stands on the balcony. She isn't alone. She's holding a crossbow, and it's pointed right at Valerius' heart. Drop the magic, Lyra, she says, a cruel smile on her lips. Or the king dies today. I freeze. The shadows around me dissipate. Kaden laughs, scrambling back to Lucia's side. I told you, Lyra, you should have stayed in the dirt. As the guards move in to surround us, I realize the open loop from earlier has just closed with a snap. The call wasn't just coming from the cult. It was coming from inside the house. And as Valerius collapses into his human form, his skin turning a deadly shade of blue, I realize I have to make a choice. Save the man who is using me, or save myself. Chapter 7. The Cage of Cold. The clicking of the crossbow is the loudest sound in the world. Drop it, Lyra, Lucia sneers from the balcony, or I'll put a silver bolt through my brother's heart before he can even blink. I look at Valerius. He's back in his human form, naked and shivering on the cracked marble floor. The white wolfsbane dust is like a shroud over his skin. He's dying, and it's my fault. I let the blue shadows slide off my fingers. The air goes still. The freezing wind stops howling. Good girl, Kaden says. He walks up to me, his face twisted with a sick, greedy grin. See? I told you she was just a pebble. She'll always choose the weak path. He reaches out and grabs my hair, yanking my head back. I scream as he forces me to look at Lucia. Take them to the black cells, Lucia orders the guards. And make sure the girl stays in the sun-binding chains. I don't want any more miracles today. Sound of heavy boots marching and chains rattling. The guards drag me away. I try to reach for Valerius, my fingers brushing against the cold stone, but Kaden kicks my hand away. He's done, Lyra, Kaden whispers in my ear. His breath smells like rot. Once the cult gets what they want from you, I'm going to watch him freeze into a statue. And then I'm going to make you watch me shatter him. They throw us into the black cells. It's a room at the very bottom of the mountain. There are no windows, no light. Just the sound of water dripping and the bone-deep cold of the mountain. I'm chained to the wall. The silver is back around my wrists, eating my fire, making me feel like I'm made of lead. Valerius is slumped in the corner, his breathing shallow and ragged. Valerius? I whisper. My voice is just a dry rasp. He doesn't answer. I look at the mark on my hand. It's still there. The gold and black circle. It's pulsing, but it's faint, like a heartbeat that's about to stop. Lucia didn't just betray him for the crown. She's working with the Silver Fang to harvest us both. And the worst part? I'm starting to feel the void again, not as a weapon, but as a hunger. Without my sunfire to balance it, the bond is starting to drink me instead. Chapter 8. The Healing Fever. I have to save him, even if it burns me to ash. Valerius, look at me, I sob. I crawl as far as the chains will let me, my wrists bleeding against the silver. He finally opens his eyes. They aren't icy blue anymore. They are cloudy, almost white. The wolfsbane has paralyzed his lungs. "Run!" he wheezes. "Lyra, run." "I'm not leaving you," I growl. I close my eyes and reach deep, past the pain of the silver, past the fear of Kaden. I look for that tiny golden spark that's been hidden for 10 years. "Nyx, help me!" My wolf roars. She doesn't hide this time. She pushes against the silver chains. My skin starts to smoke. It smells like burning meat, but I don't care. I need heat. I need a wildfire. "Ugh!" I scream, throwing my body forward. The silver chains don't break, but the stone wall does. I rip the bolts right out of the mountain. I'm still wearing the cuffs, but I'm free to move. I scramble over to Valerius and pull his cold, heavy body into my lap. He's like a block of ice. "I've got you," I whisper. I press my chest against his. I wrap my arms around his neck. I need to transfer every bit of my Solaris heat into his frozen heart. At first, it's like touching a glacier. The cold bites into my skin, turning my fire into steam. I scream as the two powers clash. It feels like my blood is boiling and freezing at the same time. But then, something changes. The mark on our hands begins to glow. Not gold, not black, pure blinding white. Valerius's eyes snap open. His hand flies up, gripping my waist so hard it'll leave bruises. "Lyra." His voice is a growl now, a real, predatory wolf growl. The heat between us isn't just magic anymore. It's physical. It's a sizzling electric current that makes my hair stand on end. I can feel his heart starting to thump against mine, faster, harder, stronger. He pulls me closer, his lips brushing against my ear. "Your fire. It's clearing the poison. I can feel you," I gasp. The room is getting hot. The frost on the walls is melting, turning into a thick mist that hides us from the world. He rolls me over, pinning me to the dirty straw floor of the cell. In the dark, his eyes are glowing like two blue lanterns. "I shouldn't have brought you here," he whispers, his voice dripping with a hunger that makes my stomach flip. "I thought I could just use you, but the bond, it's making me want things I haven't felt in a century." He leans down, his teeth grazing the sensitive skin of my neck. "Valerius, the guards," I try to say, but my voice dies as he kisses the spot where the silver burned me. "Let them come," he growls. "I'll kill them all for touching what belongs to me." He's not just a king anymore. He's my mate. And the resonance between us is so strong I can feel his wolf, the void, licking at my skin, asking for my light. But just as he moves his hand to my thigh, the door to the cell creaks open. Chapter 9. The Frozen Labyrinth. Kaden is standing in the doorway, and he's holding a torch. "How touching," Kaden sneers. He looks at us on the floor, his eyes filled with a jealousy that borders on insanity. The king and his little pebble playing house in the dirt. Valerius stands up in one smooth, deadly motion. He doesn't have his clothes, and he doesn't have his shadows back yet. But he looks like a god of war. "Get out," Valerius says. The voice isn't human. It's a tectonic rumble. "Or what?" Kaden laughs. He steps into the cell, and I see 4 Silver Fang cultists behind him. They are all holding those sunbinding chains. "I have a deal with Lucia," Kaden says, looking at me. "She gets the throne. I get the girl. And the cult. They get the king's heart." He lunges at me. But I'm not the girl from the Equinox Ball anymore. I reach out my hand, the one with the broken chain still hanging from my wrist. I don't call for the sun. I don't call for the void. I call for both. A blast of white energy explodes from my palm. It hits Kaden in the chest, throwing him back through the door and into the stone wall of the hallway. "What the—" one of the cultists gasps. "The resonance!" I yell to Valerius. "Take my hand!" He grabs my hand, and the world goes white. We aren't just shifting. We are merging. We burst out of the cell like a hurricane of fire and shadow. The cultists don't stand a chance. The silver chains melt before they can even touch us. Valerius is a blur of claws, tearing through the guards, while I move like a spirit of light, blinding anyone who tries to draw a weapon. We run. We don't go up toward the throne room. We go down, deeper into the mountain, into the frozen labyrinth. "This way," Valerius shouts, leading me through a tunnel of solid ice. We stop in a massive cavern filled with glowing blue crystals. But the exit is blocked. A creature steps into the light. It's not a wolf. It's a shadow crawler, a monster made of pure void that has been twisted by the Silver Fang's magic. It's 20 feet tall, with 100 eyes and teeth like jagged glass. "Lucia's pet," Valerius spits. "We have to kill it to get out," I say, my golden light flaring. But then, I hear Kaden's voice echoing from the tunnel behind us. "There's nowhere left to run, Lyra. The labyrinth only has one heart and you're standing in it." I look at the ground. The floor isn't stone. It's a giant celestial clock, and the gears are starting to turn. If we don't kill this monster and get out in the next 60 seconds, the labyrinth will reset, and we'll be trapped in the dark forever. I look at Valerius. He looks at me. "On 3?" I ask. He gives me a dark, beautiful smile. "On 3, little son. 1, 2. But before we can strike, the shadow crawler does something unexpected. It speaks. "The Solaris has returned for the sacrifice." Wait, sacrifice? I look at Valerius. He's looking at the ground, his face pale. He knew. He knew this monster was here, and he knew what it would take to get past it. He didn't save me to be his queen. He saved me to be the key. Chapter 10. The Price of Light. The clock is ticking, and I think my heart just stopped. "Sacrifice?" I scream over the noise of the turning gears. "Valerius, what is this thing talking about?" The shadow crawler doesn't wait for an answer. It lunges. Its 100 eyes all blink at once, and a wave of black slime hits the floor where we were standing a second ago. The marble doesn't just melt. It disappears. The void in this monster is hungry. It's a vacuum that wants to eat everything. Valerius pushes me behind a massive blue crystal. His face is pale. His eyes are darting toward the exit, which is slowly closing like a stone eyelid. "It's a legend, Lyra!" he shouts. He's not looking at me. The crawler is the guardian of the Citadel's heart. It only lets the king pass if he brings a balance. A balance? Or a snack? I growl. My golden light is shaking. My wolf, Nyx, is pacing. She feels the betrayal coming before I do. "I didn't know it would speak," Valerius says. He looks at me then, and for the first time, I see the king is terrified. "I just knew I needed you to open the door. I thought we could fight it together." The monster roars again. It swipes a massive claw, shattering the crystal I'm hiding behind. Shards of blue glass fly everywhere. One cuts my cheek, and the blood that drips down is hot enough to steam. "You used me!" I yell. The pain in my heart is worse than the cut on my face. "Kaden used me to look good. You used me to open a door. I'm just a tool to everyone, aren't I?" "Lyra, move." Valerius tackles me as the crawler's tail smashes into the ground. We roll across the shifting clock gears. The metal is cold. The air is freezing. But where our skin touches, the world explodes in white light. The monster flinches. It hates the light. It hates us. I look at the exit. There's only a crack left. 5 seconds. "Give me your hand," Valerius screams. Why should I? Because if we don't merge right now, we both die in the dark. I look at the monster. I look at the closing door. Then I look at the man who lied to me. I reach out and grab his hand. Not because I trust him, because I'm not ready to die. Chapter 11. The White Explosion. We aren't two wolves anymore. We are a supernova. The moment our palms lock, the resonance hits a fever pitch. It's not a slow burn this time. It's a violent, blinding eruption of pure white power. The shadow crawler screams. It's a sound that shouldn't come from a living thing. Its 100 eyes burst. Its shadow body begins to evaporate like mist in the morning sun. Now, Valerius roars. He doesn't let go of my hand. He pulls me toward the closing stone door. We dive through the gap just as the gears lock into place. Silence. We are lying on a floor made of soft white fur. No, it's not fur. It's moss. Warm, glowing moss. I sit up, gasping for air. We are in a hidden garden deep inside the mountain. There's no ice here. There are trees with silver leaves and a pond that smells like jasmine and honey. Valerius is lying next to me. He's back in his human form, his chest heaving. He looks exhausted. He looks broken. We're safe, he whispers. This is the heart of the Solaris. My ancestors built this for yours. Long ago. I stand up, wiping the dirt from my dress. I don't feel safe. I feel like a fool. You knew exactly where this was, I say. My voice is cold, colder than his void. Valerius sits up. He runs a hand through his dark hair. Yes, I knew. And you knew that only a Solaris could get you through that door. Yes. So when Kaden rejected me, you didn't just happen to be there. You were waiting. The silence in the garden is heavy. A silver leaf falls from a tree and lands in the pond with a tiny plink. I've been watching the Blackwood pack for months, Valerius admits. He won't look at me. I knew they had a hidden sunwolf. I knew Kaden was an idiot who wouldn't realize what you were. He stands up and walks toward me. I step back. My kingdom is dying, Lyra, he says, his voice raw. The void is spreading. If I didn't find you, the High Citadel would have fallen by winter. Thousands of people would have frozen to death. So my life for theirs? I ask. That's the sacrifice? I thought I could control it, he whispers. He reaches out, his fingers trembling. I thought I could just take a little of your heat. I didn't think I would feel this. Feel what? He stops an inch from my face. The scent of him is different here. It's not just cold. It's deep and dark and incredibly tempting. This pull, he growls, this hunger that has nothing to do with magic. He leans in, his lips inches from mine. For a second, I want to let him. I want to forget the lies and the cult and the fire. But then, the water in the pond turns black. Chapter 12. The shadow in the garden. The jasmine smell is gone. Now the garden smells like rot. Valerius spins around, his shadows flaring up instinctively. Who's there? A figure emerges from the black water of the pond. It's not a monster. It's a man. He's wearing a mask made of bone. His robes are white, stained with old blood. He moves with a grace that is almost hypnotic. The king and his key, the man says. His voice is smooth, like silk over a blade. Finally together in the heart. Silas, Valerius spits. His body goes rigid. The high priest of the Silver Fang. I freeze. This is the man who hunted my family. The man who wants to carve out my heart. Silas laughs. He doesn't look at Valerius. He looks at me. You've done well, Lyra. You've led us right to the source of the Solaris power. I didn't lead you anywhere, I shout. Didn't you? Silas tilts his head. How do you think we found the hidden tunnels? How do you think we knew the exact moment to strike the chapel? He looks at Valerius. The king is a good liar, little wolf, but he's not the only one. Silas reaches into his robes and pulls out a small golden locket. He tosses it onto the moss. I recognize it. It was my mother's, the only thing I had left of her. I thought I lost it years ago. The king didn't find you by accident, Silas says. He made a deal with us. I look at Valerius. Is it true? Valerius is silent. His eyes are fixed on the locket. The shadows around his feet are flickering, dying out. He promised to hand you over to the cult once his kingdom was saved, Silas whispers. He just needed you to fill his batteries first. Isn't that right, Your Majesty? The ground begins to shake. The silver trees are starting to turn black. The garden is dying. Valerius, tell me he's lying, I sob. Valerius looks at me. There's a tear in his icy blue eyes. Lyra, I was going to tell you. I was going to change the plan. So you did make the deal, I whisper. I feel a coldness in my chest that has nothing to do with the king. It's the sound of my soul breaking. But I don't have time to cry. Because behind Silas, the black water of the pond starts to rise. It forms a massive liquid hand that reaches for the silver trees. And then I hear a familiar, annoying voice from the tunnel entrance. "Don't kill her yet, Silas!" Kaden yells, stumbling into the garden. He's covered in blood and soot. "She still has to tell me where the crown is hidden." I look at the king. I look at the traitor. I look at the cultist. I'm surrounded by men who want to use me. The mark on my hand starts to burn. Not with heat, not with cold, with something new. My skin starts to turn a dark metallic gold. My nails grow into claws of pure diamond. "You want a sacrifice?" I growl. My voice sounds like two stones grinding together. I look at Valerius. I see the regret in his eyes, but it's too late. The open loop of his true motives just slammed shut, and it crushed my heart inside. "Then I'll give you one," I scream. I don't run for the exit. I run straight for the black pond. If they want the Sunwolf, I'm going to give them the whole damn star. But as I jump, I see something Silas is holding in his other hand. It's a second locket, exactly like mine, and it's glowing with a light that shouldn't exist. Chapter 13. The Soul Link. The black water is like a million freezing needles. But I'm not drowning. I am floating in a void of pure shadow. The golden fire in my blood is fighting the liquid dark. Every time they touch, my skin lets out a hiss of steam. It hurts. It hurts so bad I want to scream until my lungs burst. But I see the light. Not mine. His. The second locket is floating in front of my face. It's pulsing with a soft pink light. It's not solar. It's not void. It's a heartbeat. I reach out a diamond-clawed hand and grab it. The second I touch the gold, a memory flashes in my mind. I see a woman. She has my eyes. She's sitting in this very garden, holding two babies. One is me. The other has a tiny moon mark on her shoulder. I have a sister. The cult didn't just hunt my line. They stole my family. And the king? He knew. He's been holding that secret like a trump card. I kick my legs, clawing my way back to the surface. I burst through the black water, gasping for air that smells like ozone and burnt sugar. Valerius is on his knees at the edge of the pond. He's fighting Silas with nothing but his bare hands and flickering shadows. Silas is laughing, swinging a staff made of white bone. "Give her to us, Valerius!" Silas screams. "You already signed the contract. Your kingdom is safe. Just let the girl go." I pull myself out of the water. My dress is ruined. My skin is glowing so bright it's hard to look at me. I walk toward them, the moss under my feet turning to ash. "Lyra!" Valerius looks at me. His face is a mask of agony. "I was going to break the deal. I swear it." I don't look at him. I look at the locket in my hand. Then I look at Silas. "Where is she?" My voice is a low, vibrating growl. Silas stops. He looks at the locket. His masked face tilts to the side. "Ah, you found the soul link. Your sister is very useful, Lyra. Her moonblood is the only thing that keeps our weapons sharp. My wolf, Nyx, is no longer in a cage. She is the cage, and she's about to break. You have 10 seconds to tell me where she is," I say, "or I will turn this mountain into a volcano." Kaden steps forward, his eyes wide. "She's lying. She can't control that much power. Grab her." Kaden lunges at me. He's fast, but I'm faster. I don't even use my hands. I just let out a pulse of pure, white-hot heat. Kaden is thrown back across the garden. He hits a silver tree so hard the trunk snaps. He doesn't get back up this time, but Silas just smiles. He raises his bone staff. 10 seconds is too long, little son. The eclipse is starting. I look up through the crystal ceiling of the garden. The sun is being eaten by a shadow. The world goes dark. And in the dark, my fire begins to fade. Chapter 14. The Cold Truth. The sun is disappearing, and so is my strength. No, I whisper, clutching my chest. The Solaris power is tied to the sun. As the moon slides over it, my light flickers like a dying candle. The diamond claws on my fingers shrink back into blunt nails. Silas laughs, the sound echoing off the garden walls. The king's void is strong in the dark, but yours is a slave to the sky. He signals the cultists. They rise from the black pond like ghosts. Bring her, and kill the king. We have no more use for a traitor. Valerius lunges in front of me. He's weak, but the darkness is giving him a desperate final surge of energy. He wraps his arms around me, pulling me back toward a hidden stone door behind the silver trees. Run, Lyra! He snarls. He shoves me through the door and slams it shut. I'm trapped in a small, narrow hallway. It's pitch black. I can hear the sounds of fighting on the other side. The grunts, the sound of flesh tearing, the roar of the void wolf. Valerius, open this door! I scream, banging my fists against the stone. I won't let them take you. His voice comes through the cracks. It sounds distant, fading. I made a deal with the devil to save my people, but I'll go to hell to save you. I lean my head against the cold stone. I should hate him. I do hate him. He lied. He used me as a battery. He traded my life for his throne. But the bond, the stupid golden black mark on my hand is screaming. It's a physical pain in my chest. He's hurting. He's dying for me. I slide down the wall. You're a liar, I whisper to the dark. You're a monster. I know, a voice says. But it's not Valerius. I look up. A ghost is standing at the end of the hallway. It's a woman. She's translucent, glowing with a soft lunar light. Mother, I breathe. The bond isn't a cage, Lyra, the ghost whispers. Her voice sounds like wind through pine needles. It's a bridge. He gave you his void in the chapel. Now, you must give him your son. But the sun is gone, I cry. The eclipse. I have nothing left. The sun is never gone, my child, she says, pointing to my heart. It's just waiting for the moon to move. Suddenly, the wall behind me explodes. Silas is there. He's holding Valerius by the throat. The king is unconscious, covered in blood. The hunt is over, Silas says. He reaches out and grabs my arm. His touch is like ice. But it's not the king's ice. It's the cold of the grave. Time to see your sister, little son, before we take the light from you both. Chapter 15. The Siege of the Citadel. The high citadel is falling, and the snow is turning red. Silas drags me through the upper halls of the palace. It's a massacre. The Silver Fang cult is everywhere. The king's guards, the frozen, loyal wolves, are being cut down in the hallways. Look at your kingdom, Lyra, Silas mocks. He points out a massive window. Below us, the city is in flames. Even in the middle of the eclipse, the fires are visible. Kaden's Blackwood wolves are down there, joining the cult, slaughtering the innocent people who were just starting to feel the warmth of my presence. I see a mother clutching her child, hiding behind a crystalline fountain. A cultist raises a blade. I can't just stand here. I can't be the pebble anymore. I stop walking. I plant my feet. Silas tries to yank me forward, but I don't budge. What is this? He sneers. I look at Valerius, who is being dragged by two other cultists. His head is lolling, he looks dead. I reach out through the bond. I don't look for the king. I look for the wolf. Valerius, wake up! I scream in my mind. I don't wait for him. I reach into my own soul. I don't look for the sun in the sky. I look for the fire in my blood. the fire that burned through 10 years of wolfsbane, the fire that survived Kaden's rejection. I am Lyra of the Solaris, I whisper. Silas frowns. The sun is gone, girl. Give up. The sun is in me, I roar. Sound of a massive, blinding explosion of light. The hallway turns into the surface of a star. The cultists holding Valerius are vaporized instantly. Silas is thrown back, his bone staff shattering into 1,000 pieces. I'm not just shifting. I'm evolving. My fur isn't just gold. It's white hot. I am a beast of pure energy. I turn to the window. I don't run for the door. I jump. I land in the middle of the city square, right between the mother and the cultist. The shockwave of my landing melts the snow for 3 blocks. The cultist turns to ash before he can even scream. I stand tall, my golden eyes scanning the chaos. I see the people looking at me. They aren't looking at a monster. They are looking at a miracle. The Sun Queen, someone shouts. I let out a howl that echoes across the entire mountain range. It's a call to war. But then, the sky turns a weird shade of purple. The eclipse is at its peak. The shadow crawler from the labyrinth? It wasn't the only one. From the shadows of the burning buildings, 100 more of them are emerging. They are massive, twisted, and hungry. And at the top of the citadel, Silas is standing on the balcony, holding a glowing heart in his hand. It's not mine. It's the king's. Valerius's body falls from the balcony, tumbling toward the hard, frozen ground. I run. I run faster than I ever have. If I don't catch him, if I don't use the last of my light to restart his heart, the world goes dark forever. But Kaden is standing in my way, and he's holding a silver spear aimed right at my throat. End of the line, Lyra, he says. Chapter 16. The Falling Star. The sound of Valerius hitting the ground is the only thing I can hear. Sound of a distant, sickening thud followed by a heavy silence. It's a dull, heavy noise, the sound of a king becoming a corpse. My heart doesn't just break, it stops. The bond in my chest, that golden black thread, goes slack. It's like a string on a violin snapping under too much tension. Valerius! I scream. My voice isn't a wolf's roar anymore. It's a woman's cry of pure, unfiltered agony. I try to run toward him, but Kaden steps into my path. He's grinning. His silver spear is leveled at my chest, the tip glowing with that toxic green light. He's gone, Lyra, Kaden says. His voice is smooth, like he's enjoying the view. The king is dead, the void is gone, and now there's just you and me. The snow under my paws is melting from my rage, but the eclipse is winning. The sky is a bruised, ugly purple. The sun is just a thin silver ring in the dark. My golden light is flickering. I feel small. I feel weak. Move, Kaden, I growl. My claws dig into the frozen dirt. Move or I will melt the skin off your bones. Kaden laughs. He actually laughs. With what power? Look at the sky, Lyra. Your god is hidden. You're just a girl in the dark again. He lunges. The silver spear whistles through the air. I try to dodge, but I'm slow. The silver tip grazes my shoulder. It burns. It's a cold chemical fire that leaches the strength from my muscles. I fall to my side, my golden fur turning back into pale skin. I'm human. I'm naked. And I'm bleeding in the snow. Kaden stands over me. He presses the cold silver tip of the spear against the hollow of my throat. I should have killed you at the Equinox Ball, he whispers. But watching you lose everything? That's so much better. He looks up at the balcony. Silas is standing there, holding the glowing, pulsing heart of the king. The shadows are dancing around him like black flames. Bring her up, Silas screams. The ritual is ready. The void anchor is hungry. Kaden grabs me by the hair and drags me across the ice. I look toward the spot where Valerius fell. He's just a heap of black clothes in the red snow. He isn't moving. He isn't breathing. My king is dead. And I'm next. Chapter 17. The silence of the sun. The top of the citadel feels like the edge of the world. The eclipse is total now. The world is black. The only light comes from the void anchor, a massive, jagged crystal that sits in the center of the balcony. It looks like a tooth from a dead god. Kaden throws me onto the stone floor at Silas's feet. My skin is blue from the cold. I can't feel my hands. I can't feel my wolf. The Solaris and the void heart, Silas says. He holds up Valerius's heart. It's barely glowing now. Separately, they are just tools. Together, they are the key to the ancient monstrosity. He places the heart on top of the void anchor. The ground moans. The mountain itself seems to be crying out in pain. From the shadows of the city below, a massive shape begins to rise. It's bigger than the citadel. It's made of 1,000 shadow crawlers, all fused together into a giant, headless beast. "Stop it," I whisper. I try to stand, but Kaden kicks me in the ribs. "Shut up, Pebble," Kaden sneers. Silas turns to me. He's holding a dagger made of bone. "I don't need you alive for this, Lyra. I just need your blood, the last of the Sun Wolf's fire to ignite the anchor." He kneels over me. He presses the bone blade to my palm, the one with the mark, the one that used to connect me to Valerius. "You were so close," Silas whispers. "You almost became a queen. But in the end, you're just a sacrifice." I look at the sky. There's no sun. I look at the floor. There's no king. I close my eyes. I wait for the blade to sink in. I wait for the end. But then, I hear it. A faint, ghostly heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. It's not my heart. It's coming from the mark. It's coming from the snow. Lyra. The voice is a shadow. It's a memory of cold rain and wood smoke. Lyra. Don't you dare close your eyes. Chapter 18. The Ash and the Echo. I'm at the bottom of a deep, dark well, and I am all alone. Silas's blade is a centimeter from my skin. Kaden is watching with a hungry look in his eyes. The monster in the city is roaring, ready to swallow the world. This is it. This is the moment I should give up. I think about the kitchen in the Blackwood Pack. I think about the wolfsbane I drank every morning. I think about how I spent my whole life trying to be invisible. I was so afraid of being hunted that I forgot how to live. I let Kaden define me. I let Valerius use me. I let the world treat me like a pebble because I didn't believe I was a jewel. But a pebble can start an avalanche. I open my eyes. They aren't glowing gold. They are dark. They are filled with the same void that Valerius used to carry. I am not a sacrifice, I whisper. Silas pauses. What? I am not a key, I growl. I grab the bone dagger with my bare hand. The blade slices deep, but I don't feel the pain. I feel the connection. The heart on the anchor. It's not dead. It's waiting. Valerius gave me his void in the chapel. He didn't just give me power. He gave me a part of his soul. And a king's soul doesn't die just because his body hits the ground. He's still here. I reach out through the bond. I don't look for the king's body. I look for the shadow he left inside me. Valerius, I scream in my mind. If you can hear me, if you ever really loved me, give me everything. The void anchor shatters, not from my light, from the darkness inside me. Silas is thrown back. Kaden screams as a wave of black frost hits him, freezing his legs to the stone floor. I stand up. I'm covered in blood. I'm shivering. I have no sun to save me. But the eclipse is starting to move. A tiny sliver of light, just a needle's point, peeks out from behind the moon. The open loop of my sister? I feel her. She's in the basement of this very tower. She's crying, and her tears are the only thing keeping Silas's magic alive. I look at Silas. I look at Kaden. The sun is coming back, I say. My voice is steady now. And when it does, I am going to burn every single one of you to ash. But Silas just laughs. He points to the city. The giant monster has reached the citadel. Its massive, shadowy hand is reaching for the balcony. "You're too late, Lyra," Silas screams. "The void is already here." The monster's hand closes around the balcony. The stone begins to crumble. We are all falling into the dark. Chapter 19. The Moon Sisters Cry. The world is falling apart, and I'm falling with it. The balcony shatters. I'm tumbling through the air, surrounded by shards of black marble and frozen snow. I hit a lower roof, roll, and slam into a balcony 3 floors down. My lungs scream for air. My body is a map of bruises and silver burns. But I don't stay down. I can't. "Celine!" I scream. The name feels right in my mouth. It's the name of the girl from the locket, my sister, my blood. I scramble to my feet and look around. I'm in the forbidden wing of the citadel. The air here smells like old dust and lavender. No, it's the scent of the moon. It's a cool, sweet smell that cuts through the sulfur of the shadow monster. I follow the sound. I rip open a heavy iron door with a strength I didn't know I had. Inside, the room is glowing with a pale, silver light. A girl is chained to a pillar in the center of the room. She looks just like me, but her hair is as white as a cloud. She's covered in silver chains, the same ones that almost killed me. "Celine?" I whisper. The girl looks up. Her eyes are large and silver, filled with tears. "Lyra, is it really you?" I run to her. I grab the chains with my bare hands. The silver bites into my skin, but I don't care. I am a Solaris. I am the sun, and a little bit of jewelry isn't going to stop me. The chains melt. Celine falls into my arms, shivering. "They took my blood," she whispers into my neck. "Silas. He used my power to make the void monster. He said you were dead." "I'm not dead," I growl. I pull back and look into her silver eyes. "And neither is the king. The mark on my hand, it's not fading anymore. It's turning a brilliant, blinding white. The eclipse is moving. The sliver of sun is getting wider." "I need your help, Celine," I say. "I have the fire. You have the moon. If we combine them, we can bring the king back." Celine looks terrified, but then she looks at the locket around my neck. She reaches out and touches it. "Together?" she asks. "Together," I promise. Chapter 20. The Resurrection of the King. The sun is coming back, and I'm using every bit of it. I stand on the lower balcony, holding Celine's hand. We are a circuit of celestial energy. My golden light is flowing into her silver moon blood and back into me. It's the most powerful thing I've ever felt. It's not just magic. It's family. I reach out through the bond. I find the cold, dark spot in the snow where Valerius fell. "Valerius," I shout with my soul. "Listen to my heartbeat. Use my heat to wake up." For a second, there's nothing. I feel the void trying to pull me under. I feel the monster above us roaring, its massive hand crushing the top of the tower. But then, I feel a twitch. Thump, thump, thump. The snow in the courtyard begins to swirl. Not from the wind, from a vacuum. A pillar of black shadow erupts from the spot where the king lay. It shoots into the sky, cutting through the purple clouds like a spear. The Shadow King isn't dead. He's reborn. Valerius rises from the snow. He's not wearing clothes. He's wearing shadows. They wrap around him like armor, forming a crown of black ice on his head. His eyes snap open, and they aren't blue anymore. They are white-hot, filled with the resonance of my sun. He looks up at the balcony where I'm standing. He doesn't say a word, but I hear him in my head as clearly as if he were whispering in my ear. "I'm coming for you, little son." He lunges. He doesn't run. He flies. He turns into a streak of black lightning, heading straight for the top of the citadel. "He's back," Celine whispers, her voice filled with awe. "He's not the only one," I say. "The diamond claws are back. My skin is glowing so bright that the shadows are retreating into the corners of the room." I look at the top of the tower, where Silas and Kaden are waiting. Stay here, Celine, I say. Keep the light going. I have a wedding to finish. I jump from the balcony. I don't fall. The air itself seems to push me upward. I am a goddess of the sun, and I have a king to defend. Chapter 21. The Final Stand. The top of the citadel is a war zone, and I'm the nukes. I land on the crumbling roof just as Valerius slams into Silas. The high priest is using a shield of dark energy, but Valerius is tearing through it with his bare hands. Kaden is cowering in the corner trying to reload his silver spear. When he sees me, his jaw drops. "How?" he gasps. "You're just a pebble. You should be dead." "I'm the avalanche, Kaden," I say. I don't waste time on him. I raise my hand and send a bolt of pure solar energy at his spear. The silver shatters into a million pieces. Kaden screams as the backlash sends him flying over the edge of the roof. I don't even watch him fall. He's a footnote, a memory of a life I've outgrown. I turn to Silas. He's backed into the center of the roof, right under the massive, headless monster that's leaning over the tower. "You think you've won?" Silas screams. His mask is cracked, revealing a face of pure, twisted madness. "I have the heart. I have the ancient monstrosity. I will swallow this world in shadow." He raises his hand to the monster, commanding it to crush us. The giant hand descends, blocking out the sun. Valerius stands beside me. He takes my hand. The mark on our palms isn't just a mark anymore. It's a portal. "Together, Lyra," he says. His voice is deep, steady, and filled with a love that isn't a lie. One last time. We don't just fight the monster. We become the cure. We raise our joined hands toward the giant hand of shadow. My gold, his black, our white. The gap of curiosity is closing, but a new one is opening. As the light and dark merge into a beam of pure annihilation, I see something inside the monster. A face, a human face, and it's smiling at me. Silas isn't the leader. The face whispers in my mind. The light hits the monster. The roof explodes. Chapter 22. The God Killer. The world didn't just end. It screamed. The beam of light and shadow hits the monster's chest and turns it into a pillar of white fire. The 100 eyes melt. The black skin evaporates. But that face, the human face I saw inside the darkness, it's not smiling anymore. It's screaming. "Silas, you promised!" The voice wails. I realize with a jolt of horror that the monster wasn't just magic. It was made of people. Hundreds of wolves the cult stole over the years, fused together into a nightmare. "Valerius, we're not killing a monster!" I scream over the roar of the fire. "We're killing the pack!" Valerius's grip on my hand is like iron. "If we stop now, Lyra, they stay trapped in that hell forever. We have to set them free." I look at Silas. He's crawling toward the edge of the roof, trying to escape the light. He looks like a broken doll. His mask is gone, showing a face that's nothing but scars and greed. "You'll burn with them!" Silas shrieks, reaching for a small black orb in his pocket. A silver arrow hits the orb, shattering it before Silas can even touch it. I look back. Celine is standing on the lower balcony, her hands glowing with moonlight. She didn't stay hidden. She's fighting. "The moon belongs to us, Silas," Celine yells. I turn back to the monster. I don't feel like a victim anymore. I don't feel like a tool. I am the sun, and it's time to burn away the rot. I let go of Valerius's hand and jump straight into the heart of the monster. "Nyx! Now!" My wolf doesn't just bite. She shines. I explode into a supernova inside the beast's chest. The golden fire doesn't hurt the souls trapped inside. It burns the chains holding them together. The monster shatters into 1,000 points of light. The souls fly into the sky, finally free. The shockwave hits the tower. Silas is blown off the edge, screaming into the abyss. I fall toward the roof, my golden light fading as the sun finally breaks free from the moon. The eclipse is over. Valerius catches me before I hit the stone. He pulls me into his chest, his heart thumping like a wild drum against my ear. "You did it," he whispers. His voice is shaky. "You saved them all." I look at the sky. The sun is warm on my face. It's the first time in 10 years it hasn't felt like a threat. But then I remember the city below. I remember the blood. "It's not over," I say, looking at the smoke rising from the streets. "We have a kingdom to rebuild." Valerius looks down at the city, then back at me. "No, Lyra. You have a kingdom to lead. I'm just the shadow that follows the sun." Chapter 23, The Ash and the Altar. The smell of smoke is still in the air, but for the first time, I can smell the flowers too. 3 days have passed. The citadel is still a mess of broken stone and black marble, but the ice is melting. Real green grass is poking through the dirt. The frozen wolves are waking up, their eyes clear for the first time in a century. I'm standing in the garden, looking at the spot where I found Celine. She's sitting by the pond, showing a group of children how to make the water dance with moonlight. "She's a natural," a voice says. I don't have to turn around to know who it is. The air always gets a little cooler, a little crisper when Valerius is near. "She's happy," I say. "She finally knows who she is." Valerius stops beside me. He's dressed in a simple white shirt, the sleeves rolled up to show the mark on his hand. It's still there, the gold and black circle. "And what about you, Lyra?" he asks. He sounds hesitant, like he's afraid of the answer. "Do you know who you are?" I look at him. Really look at him. He's not the terrifying king I met at the ball. He's a man who made a terrible mistake because he was desperate. "I'm the girl who was rejected for being a pebble," I say. I step closer, poking him in the chest. "And I'm the woman who saved the man who tried to use her." Valerius winces. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I spent my life thinking everyone was a tool. I thought I could just trade you away." He takes my hand, his thumb brushing over my pulse. "But when I saw you falling, when I thought your light was gone, I realized I didn't care about the kingdom anymore. I just wanted my son back. I should be mad. I should walk away and rule this place on my own. But my wolf is purring. And for the first time, she's not purring at a king. She's purring at her mate. "You're an idiot, Valerius," I whisper. "I know." He growls, his eyes darkening with that blue, hungry light. "But you're my idiot." He leans in, his lips inches from mine. "Is that a yes?" "It's a, don't ever lie to me again or I'll melt your throne," I say. He laughs, and the sound is like music. He pulls me into a kiss that tastes like heat and hope. It's not a fake engagement kiss. It's a promise. But then a guard runs into the garden looking frantic. "Your Majesties! We found him! We found Kaden!" My heart skips a beat. I thought he was dead. "Where?" I ask. "In the dungeons, my queen. He says he has a message from the true Alpha." "The true Alpha?" I look at Valerius. The gap of curiosity just opened wide. The Silver Fang wasn't the end. They were just the start. Chapter 24, The Sun Queen's Revenge. They wanted a queen. Well, now they have a goddess. The coronation is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The high chapel has been cleaned of the blood and the wolfsbane dust. The black candles are gone, replaced by thousands of white lilies that glow with my golden energy. I'm standing at the altar, wearing a gown of woven sunlight. Celine is beside me, acting as my maid of honor. She looks like a princess from a fairy tale. Valerius stands at the end of the aisle. He's wearing his crown, but he's looking at me like I'm the only thing in the universe. I walk toward him, my head held high. I'm not hiding my scent anymore. The room smells like ozone, sun-baked stone, and pure, raw power. We reach the altar. The high priest, a new one, a kind man who doesn't use bone staves, raises his hands. "The Solaris in the void," he says, the fire and the shadow, bound by blood, heart, and soul. He places a golden crown on my head. It's heavy, but it feels right. I present to you Lyra, the Sun Queen of the High Citadel. I turn to the people. I see the Blackwood wolves who followed me here. I see the Citadel wolves who I saved. They are all bowing. But my eyes go to the back of the room. A cage is being wheeled in. Inside, Kaden is huddled in the corner, covered in filth. He looks like a rat. He looks up at me, and for the first time, I don't feel anger. I don't feel pain. I feel nothing. He's just a pebble. Take him away, I say, my voice carrying to every corner of the room. Let him spend the rest of his life in the dark, thinking about the jewel he threw away. The guards drag the cage out. Kaden screams, but the sound is drowned out by the music. Valerius takes my hand and leads me out to the balcony. The sun is setting, turning the sky a beautiful shade of pink and orange. You look beautiful, my queen, he whispers. He pulls me into his arms, his hands sliding down to my waist. The physical pull between us is a sizzling, electric fire. It's been 3 days since we've been alone, and the hunger in his eyes tells me he's done waiting. Are you ready for the rest of our lives? He asks, his voice dropping to a low, husky growl. I wrap my arms around his neck, pulling his face down to mine. As long as you can keep up, King, I tease. He kisses me, a deep, possessive kiss that makes my toes curl. The resonance between us flares, a white-hot light that lights up the entire city below. I look at my crown, then at my mate, then at my sister. I should have thanked the man who broke my heart. He didn't realize he was simply clearing the path for a god. And as the first stars begin to twinkle, I know one thing for sure. The sun will never set on my kingdom again. The end. 2 years later. I am sitting on a blanket in the middle of the garden. The silver trees are in full bloom, and the air is filled with the sound of laughter. A small golden-furred puppy, no, a wolf pup, is chasing a butterfly near the pond. He has my golden eyes, but when he sneezes, a tiny cloud of black shadow puffs out of his nose. Kale, don't eat the butterfly, I laugh. Valerius walks up behind me, carrying 2 glasses of wine. He looks older, wiser, and more handsome than ever. He sits down and pulls me into his lap, kissing my temple. He's going to be a handful, Valerius says, watching our son. He's a Solaris void hybrid, I say, leaning back against his chest. He was born to be a handful. We look out over the kingdom. The city is thriving. The war is a distant memory. Kaden is a footnote in a history book that nobody reads. But then, my mark starts to itch. I look down at my hand. The gold and black circle is glowing with a new color. Green. I look at Valerius. He sees it too. The Earth Wolves, he whispers. The 3rd line. I smile and stand up, my golden eyes flashing with a new kind of fire. Well, I say, reaching for my crown, I guess it's time to go on another hunt. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the journey of Lyra and Valerius. Their story may have ended, but yours is just beginning. Subscribe now to join the pack and stay updated on my latest werewolf romance releases. I'm Grace Cruz, and I'll see you in the next story.